My name is Mark Miner. I am an investigative writer and author. In my travels, I've investigated many people and places. Watch as I seek out stories that are typically outside of the box of normal. I am the Seeker. Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about sleep paralysis. So what is sleep paralysis? So when you go to sleep, your body kind of shuts itself down so that when your mind is telling your legs to run in your dream, you're not kicking your spouse in the knees. You can also wake up while your body is still self-paralyzed. You just wake up and you can't move. It often is accompanied by paranoia and hallucinations. Lots of people feel tension on their chest and feel like they're being choked. So I want to kind of go into this a little bit to kind of get more of a broader understanding of what this is. So sleep paralysis is a state during waking up or falling asleep in which a person is aware but unable to move or speak. During an episode, one may hallucinate, hear, feel, or see things that are not there, which often results in fear. Episodes generally last less than a couple of minutes, even though it may seem longer. It may occur as a single episode or be recurrent. The condition may occur in those who are otherwise healthy or those with narcolepsy, or it may run in families as a result of specific genetic changes. The condition can be triggered by sleep deprivation, psychological stress, or abnormal sleep cycles. The underlying mechanism is believed to involve a dysfunction in REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. That's your deepest state of sleep. Sleep paralysis is commonly experienced by lucid dreamers. Some lucid dreamers use this as a method of having a lucid dream. Diagnosis is based on a person's description. Other conditions that can present similarly include narcolepsy, atonic seizure, hypokalemic periodic paralysis. Treatment options for sleep paralysis have been poorly studied. It is recommended that people be reassured that the condition is common and generally not serious, even though it may seem like that at the time. Other efforts that may be tried include sleep hygiene, cognitive behavioral therapy, and antidepressants. Between 8 and 50% of people experience sleep paralysis at some point in their life. About 5% of people have regular episodes. Male and females are affected equally. Sleep paralysis has been described throughout history. It is believed to have played a role in the creations of stories about alien abduction and other paranormal events. The main symptom of sleep paralysis is being unable to move or speak during awakening. Imagined sounds such as humming, hissing, static, zapping, and buzzing noises are reported during sleep paralysis. Other voices or other sounds, such as voices, whispers, and roars, are also experienced. It has also been known that one may feel pressure on their chest and intense pain in their head during an episode. These symptoms are usually accompanied by intense emotions, such as fear and panic. People also have sensations of being dragged out of bed or of flying, numbness, and feelings of electric tingles or vibrations running through their body. The tingles is generally when you're coming out of it. Sleep paralysis may include hypnagogic hallucinations, such as a supernatural creature suffocating or terrifying the individual, accompanied by a feeling of pressure on one's chest and difficulty breathing. The pathophysiology of sleep paralysis has not been concretely identified, although there are several theories about its cause. The first of these stem from the understanding that sleep paralysis is a parasomnia resulting from dysfunctional overlap of the REM and waking stages of sleep. That's a mouthful. Polysomnographic studies found that individuals who experience sleep paralysis have shorter REM sleep latencies. than normal, along with shortened NREM and REM sleep cycles and fragmentation of REM sleep. This study supports the observation that disturbance of regular sleeping patterns can precipitate an episode of sleep paralysis. Because fragmentation of REM sleep commonly occurs when sleep patterns are disrupted and has now been seen in combination with sleep paralysis. Another major theory is that the neural functions that regulate sleep are out of balance in such a way that causes different sleep states to overlap. In this case, cholinergic sleep on neural populations are hyperactivated and the serotonergic sleep off, that's in quotations, neural populations are underactivated. As a result, the cells capable of sending the signals that would allow for complete arousal from the sleep state, the serotonergic neural populations have difficulty in overcoming the signals sent by the cells that keep the brain in the sleep state. What does that mean? That means that when you go to sleep and you start entering into that sleep state, your body automatically sends out a signal to paralyze your body. And sometimes when you become aware or wake up, the brain doesn't send that signal fast enough and it recognizes you're awake but you're still paralyzed. During normal REM sleep, the threshold for a stimulus to cause arousal is greatly elevated. Under normal conditions, medial and vestibular nuclei, cortical, thalamic, and cerebellar, I'm trying to pronounce these words, centers coordinate things such as a head and eye movement and orientation in space. What does that mean? That means that sometimes you see things out of the corner of your eye, sometimes you hallucinate that there's a shadow person, etc. So I am a personal person who suffers from this, meaning that I myself have had this happen to me. So I just want to let you know that I have some empathy, and that's why I'm saying that. In individuals reporting sleep paralysis, there's almost no blocking of extraneous stimuli, which means it is much easier for stimulus to arouse the individual. If the effects of sleep on, in quotations, neural populations cannot be counteracted. Research has found a genetic component in sleep paralysis. The characteristic fragmentation of REM sleep, hypnopompic and hypnagogic, which is before sleep, after sleep. Hallucinations have a heritable component in other parasomnias, which lends credence to the idea that sleep paralysis is also genetic. Studies have been shown that if one twin of identical twins experiences sleep paralysis, that the other twin is very likely to experience it as well. And that just kind of proves that there's a genetic state to all of this. So the hallucinations have been linked to the sleep paralysis that believe that there is an intruder in the room, the presence of an incubus, look that one up, and the sensation of floating. A neurological hypothesis is that in sleep paralysis, the mechanisms which usually coordinate body movement and provide information on body position become activated, and because there's no actual movement, induce a floating sensation. So that's generally sometimes when you're sleeping on your back, that tends to happen a lot more. So an intruder and incubus hallucinations highly correlate with one another, and moderately correlated with the third hallucination, the vestibular motor disorientation, also known as an out-of-body experience, which differs from the other two in not involving the threat-activated vigilance system. So yeah, I've done some videos on the out-of-body experience things, and it was pretty intense. So the threat hypervigilance, that's pretty interesting to me, and kind of wanted to touch on that in, maybe another video. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this. Not quite sure. So there are ways of making sure that you don't suffer from sleep paralysis, such as, skip the nap. I, as a personal experiencer, always go to bed extremely tired. Whether I have to work out extra hard or skip that nap. There's other things. Do some research. This is a very interesting subject. So if you've ever suffered from sleep paralysis, had 1, episode or several or a lifetime full, I want to hear from you. Put some comments in there and let me hear. So I want to thank you guys again for coming and spending some time with me. Remember, stay weird and catch me on the next episode. Love you guys.